Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reading an essay that I did in college. I forgot what the assignment was, but it's an essay pretty much about my life. If you didn't know, I transitioned to a female about 3 years ago. I detransitioned and now I'm transitioning again. It's a pretty complicated story, but in this essay, I pretty much talk about everything in my story and pretty much my whole life. I'm not the best reader, so don't judge, okay? And if you hear background noises, my dog is with me in my bed, and right now she is chewing on a bone, so she is making a noise, but just ignore that. Okay guys, let's begin, and remember, I am not the best reader. Okay. If I am being frank, ever since I can remember, I've always felt like a female. From wearing my towel as a dress when younger to wearing my mom's heels when I got older. It was undeniable to admit that there was something different about me. I began going from therapist to therapist to figure out what was wrong with me. It was a Saturday morning in the summer of 2015 when my life changed completely. My therapist, Dr. Mara, had just given me hot tea, her soothing voice giving me comfort as she delivered the news that would change my life forever. As I take my first sip into the hot chai tea, I vividly remember my therapist saying, "It may be a possibility that Christian may be transgender." After this day, we did a lot of research and came with the conclusion this is what I identified myself as transgender. The feeling I had when I encountered many different transgendered people and heard their stories were breathtaking. It reminded me so much of the confusion I had when I was younger. I always had an admiration for the female anatomy and the feminine physique, and as I grew older and testosterone began kicking in, I was so lost because it wasn't what I wanted for myself. Slowly, day after day, as I would look in the mirror and see the beard that was rapidly growing, the Adam's apple beginning to appear, and my shoulders widening, made me feel disgusted. My brain and my physical body were not matching. I had what my therapist later called gender dysphoria. After learning more about the concept of transgendered people and hearing out individuals with similar stories, all I could say was, this is me. Starting summer of 2015 through winter of 2016, I began my transition from being a male to a female. Finding female clothes when looking like a man was hard. The stares were as frightening as the stares owls give to their prey. My family was very supportive with all my decisions, which is shocking because almost all my family members are very religious. Keep in mind that transitioning from male to female is expensive, which was also another weight added to my parents' shoulders. But they explained to me that if this is what was going to make me happy and make me feel more comfortable, they would do everything possible to help out. I was blessed to have such accepting parents and family members, but that is not the case with a lot of other individuals that are going through similar experiences. There have been many cases where parents have kicked their son, daughter out for being gay, lesbian, transgender, etc. I'm grateful that this does not happen to me. Although the alienation did not happen to me with my family, it did occur with people whom I thought would be more open-minded, which were my peers. Speaking about unacceptance, my junior year of high school, I began going to school as who I truly was. Fitting in a 34A bra cup, I was very happy and courageous for finally feeling more like myself. As for my peers, there were some that were happy for me, but the majority thought of me as a piece of gum that was stuck to the bottom of the shoe. The people that supported me told me to ignore the haters and just move on with my life, which was similar to one thing that my best friend explained to me, which is that you're never going to please everyone. Even though this statement was true, it was hard to believe it when I was constantly being belittled and pushed aside. I was known as a people pleaser, and to some extent that was true because I would do various things to please those in my life, but only because I desired my peers' acceptance. Transitioning and being a people pleaser was a toxic mix. Even though it was time for me to be myself and finally become happy with my appearance, I let what those said to me affect my journey to the happiness. Throughout my junior year of high school, I find myself doubting if I was truly transgender, which is sad because I am now 100% positive that I am. In the beginning of senior year, I did what most transgender people dream of. I began my journey in hormone replacement therapy. Hormone replacement therapy is when you take 2 pills. One was called spironolactone, which was the testosterone blockers, and the other one was called estradiol, which was the estrogen. Basically, what these pills would do was reverse all the masculine developments that had occurred in my body and gain all the feminine developments that my heart so wanted. Everything was going well. Everything any transgender person could ever want, I had. I had a lot of support, the clothes, the pills, the heels, and the happiness. I was feeling more like myself day after day. The pills were doing wonders. My facial hairs became less noticeable. Shaving my legs went from 3 times a week to twice a week, and I couldn't be happier with the direction my life was going. But that feeling was short-lived. As a result of becoming who I really am, one senior year of high school started, the bullying went from moderate to extreme in a matter of weeks. It was as if the more feminine I got, the more hate I received. It was both hot and cold for me. I finally felt peace and safety inside of me for being who I was, but I also felt like giving up because the hate I was receiving was building up inside me. To give an example of how bad the hate was, one day after school, I went home with one of my best friends just like a regular day. When I was going through my Twitter feed, I came across an anonymous comment that said, "Christina Calle should kill herself. It would make the world a better place." This made me feel worthless for just being myself. At that moment, with all the hate messages running through my head, I believed that comment. And if I weren't with my best friend, I don't know what would have happened to me. I got teased and bullied, but telling someone to kill themselves was by far the most painful reaction I have gotten. The hate made me feel really confused, and slowly I was lost in a cloudy forest of hate that I couldn't find my way out of. I felt alone and scared. Everyone around me felt like a villain, and I slowly felt like I was drowning each day more and more. I began doubting myself if this was my decision I should have taken. Transitioning became both a good and awful experience, when it should be an excellent one. I have always been able to take care of myself, and as I felt myself losing control of my own feelings and I saw myself getting hurt, I decided that maybe it wasn't such a good idea transitioning because I was not feeling great either way. Oh my god, I'm getting emotional. It's really hard to relive it and reread it. Okay. By winter of 2016, I decided to detransition, quitting the hormones, buying male clothing, and cutting my hair. This was the hardest thing I ever had to encounter. I will never forget the feeling of seeing all my hair fall to the ground of the salon floor and seeing my pill bottle every morning full of hormones, forcing myself to walk past it without taking one. I did this all to please the rest of society. I put on a pair of loose-fitting jeans, some bands, and I cleared my face of makeup. After detransitioning, no one gave me nasty comments or the evil eye. I finally felt accepted. But I wasn't happy. Okay. Being a male for about 6 months again definitely made me learn much more about myself. I learned that no one should ever do things just to please society. Do what pleases you. In high school, people are not mature and don't realize that the things they do, in fact, hurt someone. I realized that I don't have to quit transitioning and being a girl just because society thinks it's a sin. I benefited from the failure of becoming myself, which sounds ironic, but it's true. Many people are ashamed of admitting that they have failed, but failure isn't something to be afraid of. There's a lot of benefits from doing things more than once, like learning from your mistakes and realizing that there are better ways to do it. It may seem like the end of the world when you encounter failure. Just give yourself some time to recuperate and go at it again. Now that I have understood the values of life, this will make my transition into a beautiful woman a lot more smoother. I hope this story motivates you to do what you want in life and makes you less afraid of failure, because without failure, no one in this world will be able to grow and become more mature. Oh my god, that was a lot. I hope my reading wasn't too bad. My throat hurts so much. I have to drink water right now because it's super dry and it's tingling because I read for like 8 minutes straight, but hopefully it wasn't too bad of a read. I haven't read that essay in probably like a year, and it was definitely very tough and hard reading it because I pretty much just relived one of the hardest and darkest times of my life. That's when my suicidal thoughts was peaking. I mixed in Prozac and other stuff, and it was just not a good point in my life. But it's also very beneficial reading this again because it shows how much progress I have done. Right now in my life, I am very happy. I'm transitioning again. I'm becoming who I really am. And it feels really good reading that and now seeing who I am right now. And it feels good that I know that I made a lot of progress because my suicidal thoughts, I barely have them. I feel very happy. I'm transgender and I'm finally transitioning, so it feels good. I just remember what the assignment was about. It's about a failure that you now accept. My failure was becoming myself, and who I am. I pretty much failed because I gave in to the bullies, but now I accept it and I'm okay that that happened. And I think it's very important that you accept some of your flaws and some of your failures, because if you don't accept it, you're never going to be truly okay. So now that I accept my failure of transitioning, I picked up myself, I accepted it, and I'm going to try again. And this time, I'm not going to hear anything about the bullies. I don't care what anyone has to say about me. That's your opinion, and I really just don't care. I'm going to do what makes me happy, and that's all I care about. All I care about is my happiness. I don't care about what anyone thinks but myself. And yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and feel inspired. This was definitely not easy for me to talk about because it was one of the hardest, toughest, and darkest times of my life. But I feel like anyone can relate because the overall topic was failure and accepting failure. And I think it's very important that if you feel at something, you accept it. And don't get stuck and don't relive it, but just accept it and move on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! Most toughest and darkest times of my life. Stay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So disrespectful, I swear to God.